A world spiritual council of many different traditions gathers to discuss how various religious and spiritual systems on Earth can affect positive changes in political systems, global ecology, and human well-being. They discuss personal freedoms versus social responsibility, unity versus diversity of action and thought, stability versus creativity, satisfaction versus dissatisfaction, and unintentional consequences versus unexpected treasures. Suddenly, a loud crack freezes everyone in place. A superimposed voice says, "Ha! Another score for my team." In another dimension, an 8-member solar system council of teenagers gathers around the Earth playing a game of spiritual influence. Each of the 8 members has a scorecard of prophets, seers, sages, gurus, wise ones, and other highly intuitive individuals from various countries. One of the members claps her hands loudly and says, "Ha! Another score for my team." In the game, points are scored whenever their inspirational influence results in human actions that generate change. Higher point totals are accumulated through strategic decision-making that results in action. Any strategic decision, however, can get derailed by unexpected obstacles, such as injuries, natural disasters, and crowdsourced psychological pressures. They reminisce on past scores generated by humans like Buddha, Jesus, Rosa Parks, and lesser-known intuitive ones. As one of the 8 members boasts about a large score of points she produced from the actions of one of the prophets that resulted in social change, a loud crack freezes the 8 beings in place. A superimposed voice says, "Who do you think you are? Gods?" In another dimension, a light-pulsating, pansexual being monitors 1,000,000,000 star systems. A soft shepherd's tone is heard in the background. The pansexual being scans the 1,000,000,000 star systems, pointing to various individual systems, while gently humming in harmony with the shepherd's tone. The pansexual being points at one of the star systems, claps hands loudly, and says, "Who do you think you are? Gods?" The being reflects on the responsibility of creation, the importance of honoring decisions from life forms, the role of chance, the importance of beauty, and the paradoxes that create the friction of growth. The pansexual being says, "The most important role of God is to nurture the evolution of actions of life beings by getting out of the way." A loud crack freezes the pansexual being and the 1,000,000,000 star systems. A superimposed voice says, "Don't be ridiculous, you fool." In another dimension, a man and a woman examine billions of galaxies accompanied by a loud shepherd's tone. The man emits colors that change but are always opposites of the woman. The man says to the woman, "Hey, check this one out." She examines one of the galaxies, claps her hands loudly, and says, "Don't be ridiculous, you fool." The man and the woman talk about pain versus pleasure, control versus chance, and finitude versus infinity. They speculate on the origins of the creation of the universe and pose the question, am I God? Are you God? Or are we both gods in this universe? A loud crack freezes them and the entire universe in place. In another dimension, the shepherd's tone softens, then gradually morphs into a multitude of conversations from clusters of beings in an infinity of universes. light in all directions. In one cluster, one of the beings claps hands loudly, points towards one of the shimmering points of light, and says, "One God? Two gods? Rather limited in imagination, aren't we?" They all chuckle a bit as though it is something they have heard before, but still find amusing. The beings of this cluster have a conversation about the relative complexities of infinities. Gradually, the conversations of all the other beings louden enough to drown out the conversation from this cluster of beings. The clusters of conversations morph back into the shepherd's tone and grow in volume. The frozen state of the 8-member Solar System Council of Teenagers observing the Earth come to life when a loud crack sets them into motion. They hear the shepherd's tone and pause to discuss the impact of the shepherd's tone on earthly life forms, referring to the shepherd's tone as an overture of the gods. Is the overture the source of all consciousness? Is the overture a linear infinity or a finite loop? Is infinity a singularity of oneness, or is it an immeasurable number of discrete parts, each with unlimited potential power? The beings speculate on the powers of the shepherd's tone and ways of integrating it into their game by using it as a subtle, subconscious influence. In unison, they clap their hands. Back on Earth, the World Spiritual Council is in a frozen state. A loud crack sends everyone in motion once again. Members of the council tackle some difficult questions. How can we best balance our human actions with our earthly environment? What do all earthly spiritual systems have in common? Where value differences exist, are some values right and some values wrong? Can improvements in human relationships be achieved by embracing these values, rejecting these values, or both? The members of the spiritual council revel in the bliss of their own connection with their own spiritual systems. One by one, each member says, All of the members say, over and over again. Gradually, the short, syllables get elongated into sounds. The humming morphs into the shepherd's tone as the members join in a wordless song, an overture of the gods.